All right, this is going to amount to an extra Rational Boomer podcast, in addition to what's already out there and what will come. And this might be a little ill advised because I'm just doing this impromptu. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Time. And I said, fuck it, I'm going to do a live and I'll record it for the podcast as well. I don't normally do lives during the day. I just got a wild hair and I said, I'm going to do it. I didn't tell my moderators because they're probably working anyway. And I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to come here and see how long I can go. The Trumplafucks will come in and they'll try to take us down, and I have no moderator at this point, at least as far as I know. But I said, I'm not, I'm not scared of you motherfuckers, meaning the Trumplafucks. So I thought I'd just do a live. We're getting close to the election now. I'm doing a Rational Boomer podcast. I'm recording this for that, and I'm doing a live on TikTok right now. This is an interesting opportunity to see people I don't normally talk to in the lives because I normally do it at night. And so we are here and we're going to talk about what's going on with this election. And Donald Trump is getting a little nervous at this point, really nervous at this point, because the fact of the matter is they're seeing an inordinate amount of women registering and early voting. And they got a problem with that because they're thinking, maybe women don't like Donald Trump as much as we think they do. And I don't know where they'd get that. I mean, fuck, he was found liable of sexual assault. He defamed the woman 3 times that he sexually assaulted. He overturned Roe v. Wade, taking away constitutional rights away from women and putting them all in physical danger. And then he said, I don't care what women think. I'm going to do it anyway. Why wouldn't women fucking like him? Why would they like him? So now they're scurrying around and trying to figure out a way to get women to like him again. But the damage he inflicted on women, he couldn't find any redemption if he put 20 years into it. He's done more against women than he's ever done for them. And now he's going to pay the price because when it comes to November 5th, the women are going to come out in mass and bury that motherfucker, including all the other Republicans and Trumplafucks. So I thought I'd come here and live and maybe gloat a bit. I've been saying that Kamala Harris is going to win. And after a time, I said Kamala Harris is going to win decisively. I couldn't feel more confident than I do today. Things are going badly for Donald Trump. Every time he opens his mouth, there's a fucking new situation that's burning him down. Kamala couldn't come up with enough shit to burn Donald Trump down as compared to Donald Trump doing it himself. So we're on the live. We'll take some questions. Says, hi, Boomer. Love everything you do. Thank you, Edna. I appreciate that. Donde te and diste. I'm not, I don't know Spanish. I'm sorry. I know it. I kind of know what it is. You were spot on all along. Not spot on all along. I can be wrong, and I'm not afraid of being wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll say, fuck it, I'm wrong. I mean, Jesus, I've been married 41 years. I'm wrong pretty much every fucking day. But regarding this is about taking a look at the facts and not get emotional about it or not listen to the bullshit that the media or the Republicans tell us. You can't fucking listen to that shit. All right. Rovember, let's make history on January 20th. Absolutely. Go women. We have the power. Liz Cheney need to sue him. Yeah, they need to do something. There's going to be a lot coming down on Donald Trump after the election. He'll no longer have the protection of saying, I'm running for president. Nobody will be afraid of interfering in the election. It'll be over. Donald Trump will be at his most vulnerable state at that point, and he's going to be in fucking trouble. A guy in his condition, mentally and physically, will not be able to handle it. I hope he can stay upright long enough so that he can get sentenced to prison, go through his trials, and do all the shit he needs to do in order to be accountable for the egregious, horrific, abhorrent shit that he's done. Nobody in this country has ever done as much damage to this country as Donald Trump. Supermom says, I voted today and I vote blue up and down. That's the way to do it, Mom. Not my mom, of course, but Supermom. For weeks, it feels like he's actively throwing the election. Some people say that they think he's throwing the election, and I don't think he's really doing that. I think in his mind, he thinks he's trying to save the election. But you have to understand the mind of a narcissist. They think they're geniuses, they think they can pull anything out of the fire. So, right now, he's got two problems going for him. He's delusional, he's narcissistic. So, he's knows whatever comes out of his mouth has got to be fucking brilliant. Plus, he's panicking. So, instead of thinking about what he's doing, he's just saying whatever. And when that doesn't work, he just gets stronger and meaner. That's what bullies do. They get in your face and threaten you. If you don't back down right away, they threaten you stronger. And then they threaten you stronger up until the time you slap the taste out of their fucking mouth. And then they go running like little bitches. And that's what Donald Trump is going to do. Tonya says, love you, guy. Love you too, Tonya. Donald Trump is not going to last. Yeah, I find it hard to imagine at 78 years old and the conditions he's in. When are they going to arrest this guy? They already have arrested him, remember? When they indicted him and he went to trial, they arrested him. They arrested him in every trial where he's been indicted. You're wondering when they're going to put him in jail. I don't know exactly when, but once the election is over, there's all kinds of opportunities. Donald Trump has nothing left to save him. The Liz Cheney comment. Yeah, we were hearing a lot about that. What he said about Liz Cheney. And this is where I'm talking about him going off the ledge a little bit and getting crazy and saying anything that comes to his mind. He said Liz Cheney is a war hawk. And I wonder how she would feel if she had 9 guns pointed at her face. That's essentially telling the crowd, go after Liz Cheney. Well, I tell you what, even if you did do that, that's not going to save you, Donald. Donald can't be saved at this point. He's done all he's done. I thought he would go down before this, but this is what it's going to take. It's going to take going to November 5th, having him get beat in the election. And yeah, sure, he'll say, oh, it was fixed. It was a hoax. But he tried that once when he was president, didn't work. They know what he's got planned. They've set traps for him. It's not going to work. Donald Trump is going to lose a lot of stock with the Republican Party after November 5th when he gets beat badly. Hey, Boomer, U.S. women are strong. Tell me about it. I've been married to a strong woman for 41 years. I've been trying to teach my granddaughter to flex her muscles and go girl power. She's a strong little girl, too, and I'm not going to let her grow up in a fucking shithole that Donald Trump wants to create. Kansas might turn blue. I'm hopeful. I live here. I mean, here's the thing. Whenever they come out with these electoral maps, they have the givens for each side. The Democrats will definitely win this, and the Republicans will definitely win this. So it's all about the swing states. I think it's going to be a surprise this time around. I think we're going to see some red states that people were counting on that are going to flip. Maybe like a Kansas, maybe like a Iowa, maybe like a Florida. And if Florida and or Texas flip, it's all fucking over. It's done. You telling the truth about everything. I'm trying, Kenny. Trying. I can't tell you how many people, poor baby TDS at its best, Trump 2024. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Jeff H. You can believe whatever you want. I'm not going to engage with you because I'm winning. So why would I argue if I'm winning? And for all the people out here in this live, do not engage with the Trump-a-fucks, because all they want to do is try to gain a platform. They can't do it on their own, so they jump on these and they just can't do it. And besides that, I have the capability of blocking people. I don't have I do not have a moderator that I know of, but I'll block the shit out of you. How do all these Republicans get away with all these lies and commercials with no accountability? That's a good question. That's something that has to change. Our media is about as fucked up as our government, and we need to address that. Got a question, not for either, but what has Kamala done in the last 3.5 years? Look at where we are, explain. Well, I'll explain this. I'm blocking your shit because that's a stupid question. Oh, God damn it. How confident are you Kamala wins PA on a scale of 1 to 10? I'd say about a 8. I don't know enough about Pennsylvania to speak intelligently about it, but from what I hear and what Donald Trump did with regards to the Puerto Ricans and the Haitians and stuff, if she doesn't win, it would be surprising to me. Can you be available 24 hours a day until the election? Well, I'm retired, so yeah, I guess I can. What do you need, Jen? I'm here all the time anyway, so 24 hours a day, only when I'm sleeping, and I usually get up in the middle of the night because I'm 64. So, I'm sleeping for a couple hours, got to get up and go to the bathroom. Yeah, I'm available 24/7. What about Musk? Musk has got some problems. It seems like we're finding out now that when he immigrated to this country, yes, he's an immigrant. He may have lied on some of his paperwork. And if that's the case, he could be denaturalized, meaning taking his citizenship away and putting him in jail for 5 years. When the Republicans are out of power, we'll have plenty of time to look into that. Tony says, love listening to you. Thank you very much. Question: what happens to the state where the ballot box got burned up? Well, it wasn't like a million ballots, it was a few hundred. And apparently, the people who are in charge of the election there are going to that ballot box and they're saying, if you put a vote in this ballot box between these times, come back and we'll have to redo the votes. It's not enough to do really any damage to the election. It is illegal. Somebody's going to go to motherfucking jail. I thought that it comes down to Pennsylvania. Well, that's what people say. But again, it's what I said before. That's assuming everything goes as planned. Donald Trump wins Florida. Donald Trump wins Texas. Donald Trump wins Iowa. If it goes that way, then Pennsylvania will be in play and be very important. But the moment Florida flips or Georgia flips or whatever flips, it changes everything. Pennsylvania, don't make any mistake. It is important. We need to win Pennsylvania. And if she wins Pennsylvania, if she wins Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, that pretty much ensures that she wins. And I think there's a pretty good chance of that. Richard says, I'm in Florida. No way it flips blue. Well, Richard, I don't know. I talk to a lot of people in Florida that say the opposite. We don't know until it happens. If I'm wrong, well, I'm not saying it's going to turn blue. I'm saying it's got a good possibility. There are a lot of reasons for it. Ron DeSantis says, fuck that state up. People can't afford insurance. They can't get help to put up roofs or build houses. There's all kinds of problems in Florida, and on the ballot will be the question of abortion, which they will lose. The Republicans will lose. And that's going to bring out a lot of Democrats. It could turn blue. Hey, Boomer, this is the first live I've stumbled across. Hope you are well. I am very well. And I'm excited because I know what's going to happen on November 5th. Any concerns regarding aftershock from the Trumplicans? No. They are fucking cowards. They attacked the Capitol for one reason. Donald Trump was in control. He held back the National Guard. That's not the case anymore. Case is that Joe Biden is president. I wouldn't be surprised if they have the National Guard standing in front of the Capitol when those big dumb fucks come walking up. But they won't come walking up. They're scared to death. They're bullies, so they're cowards, and they won't show up. They didn't show up when he was indicted. They didn't show up when he was convicted. They aren't going to show up for this. They'll run around crying and whining and filing lawsuits, but they got their ass kicked. It would be hard to imagine flipping Florida blue. It's become a MAGA sanctuary, but I'm here for it. Yeah, it is hard to imagine, Runan. I'm not sold that it's going to turn blue. I have high hopes, though. Trump wins one Wisconsin, Michigan, or Penn. Game over for Democrats. Yeah, Joe, fuck you. You're blocked. I don't want to hear from Trump-lefucks. Here's the thing about Trump-lefucks. After November 5th, you're inconsequential. You don't matter. You don't have a voice. We don't care to hear from you. You're the jokes that we always thought you were. Time to head back under your fucking rocks and shut the fuck up. Says they're all talk. They saw what happened to the J6ers. Yeah, absolutely. Those people that went to jail for J6 scare the shit out of them. They think it's a trap. We're going to put them in jail. Well, yeah. If you commit crimes, motherfucker, you're going to jail. Stop It says there are 22 million in Florida. Drives me crazy when one random guy says not going blue. Yeah, exactly. People talk like they know something. I readily will tell you that I don't know enough about Florida to tell you whether it will turn blue. All right. We got to block some more Trump-lefucks. I just got a warning because you're crying, you're losing, and you're crying. Thanks for all you've done to get the message out. Thank you. No way Florida, Texas, or Iowa flips. Okay, Johnny, I'd be happy to entertain any facts that support that. Debbie says, when he would, I think about Mike Johnson and Donald Trump's secret. The secret. Everybody's worried about the secret and the House of Representatives. Here's the deal. I'm going to explain this to you. What they want to do is somehow bring the decision of the vote back to the House of Representatives where they have a small advantage. But there's a lot of problems with this. First of all, the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, doesn't certify the election. If you remember, it's the vice president, and that would be Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris would have to decide not to certify the election, and I got a feeling that's probably not going to fucking happen after she wins. Secondly, the House of Representatives is going to look entirely different on January 6th. I think it's a foregone conclusion that the Democrats are going to win the House of Representatives substantially, maybe 20, 30, 40 seats. So on January 3rd, the new House of Representatives gets seated and sworn in. And guess what? Mike Johnson ain't going to be Speaker of the House anymore. Hakeem Jeffries will be. So on January 6th, Mike Johnson's going to be sitting there with his thumb in his ass, not knowing what to do. So a great captain showed up. Hey, great captain, thank you. Sorry to pull this on you. I didn't tell anybody, but we do have a moderator, so that's helpful. Honestly, great captain, I just said, fuck it. I got a wild hair. I'm not afraid of these motherfuckers. I'm just going to go. But thank you for popping in. Baltazar says, you're really good. What's going to happen to Orange comments about killing Liz Cheney? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, there's so much piled on top of Donald Trump. You can get him for every little thing, but how much is going to be left of him? I mean, Jesus Christ. He keeps doing these egregious things, and he can't be held responsible for all of them ultimately because one or two of them are going to take his ass down. I found another Trumpy. You gone, dumb motherfuckers. There's a big creator in here saying if Trump wins PA, he will win, and I'm terrified. That's not true. First of all, he won't win Pennsylvania. I don't think so. But just because he wins Pennsylvania doesn't mean he wins. What if he loses Florida? What if he loses Ohio or something like that? Nobody knows what's going to go on. I just feel, generally speaking, Kamala will win. And I think she will win in a big way based on the number of women voting, the number of Democrats early voting. It's facts that tell you this. It's not, I have a feeling. I heard it on the media. Fuck that. Jay says, love your approach with maggots. Well, they're fucking cockroaches. I don't really give a shit about them. Your live has done wonders for my anxiety. Thank you. Well, no problem, Debbie. There's no reason to be nervous. We can't be upset and nervous about the shit we can't control. So we just do what we do. We wait till November 5th, and then we decide what we're going to do next. I know a lot of us Democrats here in Florida are scared of the loose cannon MAGA. I can understand that. Dr. Arlene, PhD, poli-sci professor, 40 years, says Harris wins hands down. Arlene has been on my podcast, the Rational Boomer podcast, a few times, and she's going to be back on Monday. On Monday, she'll be on the Rational Boomer podcast, and you'll want to hear what she has to say. Yeah, she says Harris is going to win. Anybody with common sense is going to say that Harris is going to win. If you want to, if you haven't listened to the Rational Boomer podcast, I would suggest you do that. You can, I do a podcast every night. There's a podcast up now. I'm going to do a podcast for tomorrow. And so all you do is go to Spotify, look for Rational Boomer, and there's the audio version of the Rational Boomer podcast. Or then you go, if you want the video version of the podcast, all you have to do is go to YouTube and look for Rational Boomer. I wish I was a Democrat for 40 years. I voted for Barack Obama, and I'll never do it again. Sure you did, motherfucker. That's what these that's what these Trumpers do. They'll come in and they'll say, I don't like Donald Trump, but that Kamala's terrible. You lying sons of bitches. You're ashamed to say that you voted for Donald Trump, but you want to somehow stick it to Kamala. Listen, as of November 5th, you're going to be starting to call her Madam President. So fucking better get used to it. You've been such a voice of comfort and great info during this election. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a byproduct of doing this that I didn't expect. A lot of people come to me and say, oh, you keep me sane. You keep me not so nervous. And I'll be honest with you, this is just how the way I look at things. When I see a problem, I look at all the angles and I figure out how to fix the problem. That's to make myself feel good. But if it makes other people feel good, that's fine. Another person says, new account. This is somebody who I blocked probably and came back. She won't be my president. Well, okay. We don't give a fuck. Trumpers are realizing that they are outnumbered. Yeah, they are outnumbered. There's no question. Uh, well, you got some Trumpers in here, Gray Captain. You do what you do, I'll do what I do, and we'll shut these motherfuckers down. Will Biden use his lame duck immunity card if too close? I don't think he'll need to. And Joe Biden isn't the kind of guy that is going to skirt the law. He's too old school. I doubt he'll do that. I hope he does pardon his kid, though, Hunter. That'll make their fucking heads explode. Well, bigger trash are people voting for career politicians, especially older geezers. Yeah. We got to get the old white people out of here. Old white men. I can talk shit about old white man because I'm an old white man and I'm tired of fucking old white men in power. Let's get a younger. And she's not that much younger than me. She's about 4 years younger than me. But she's strong, she's powerful, and she is very articulate. I'm looking forward to it because I think she's going to be a different kind of president than Joe Biden. Not that Joe Biden didn't do a great job, he did, but she's going to be a little more assertive. She's a prosecutor. She's going to be going after motherfuckers. I love your post. Debbie says, I love your post. I watch all of your videos every day. Makes my day. Thank you, Debbie. You do more than my family does. I don't think my kids or my wife listen to shit. They say, we hear you talk normally. We don't have to watch that shit. B. Booker says, will Trump claim victory before the votes are counted? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. He's already claiming, he must know that he's going to lose because he's already claiming election fraud. The motherfucker's scared. He's terrified. Let's see. Older people are breaking for Kamala, though. Absolutely. That's the one thing people don't understand. In spite of the fact that the Republicans are trying to make it seem like it's the Democrats that are going to cut Social Security and Medicare, everybody knows what's true. Roe v. Wade is going to be the big issue in this election. But I'm going to tell you this, if we ever get to a point, and I don't think we will, where somebody suggests taking away Social Security or Medicare or cutting it somehow, that is going to be the biggest issue in the history of this country in presidential and Senate and House elections, because this affects everybody and they aren't going to like it. When some rich elite motherfuckers say, you got too much, we're going to take away from you, when a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. That'll never happen. Whoever proposes that and tries to put that forth is in some deep motherfucking trouble. Roger, so I love that your family is supportive and even listen when they don't feel like it. I do have some family members that do listen. Um, so I appreciate that. I mean, when I started doing this on TikTok, I wasn't looking for followers necessarily. I knew I didn't have all the tools that most TikTokers have. I'm not young, I'm not handsome, and I'm not incredibly talented. I said, I'm going to sit in my living room, I'm going to talk my shit, and we'll see what happens. Let the chips fall where they may. And fortunately, it worked out. You are my favorite voice of reason. I love how you explain it, plain and simple. I'm a simple guy. I'm a simple-minded guy. I have to do that for myself. Thank you. Harris will take care of Trump after November. That's why he's okay. It's moving too fast. That's why he's shaking in his golden sneakers. Yeah. The rich will just move and take their money with them. See ya. We don't give a fuck. The only reason they're rich is because they're taking our money. If they leave and stop taking our money, we'll be fucking fine. Alexandra says, I love all you do. Thank you so much. You're a smart man and you do calm me down. No, I don't know if I'm a smart man. I'm a loud man and I keep talking. And I have one advantage a lot of people don't have. I don't have a boss to tell me, oh, you can't do that anymore. I don't have family that says you can't do that anymore. My family knows better than anybody. If you tell Mike not to do something, that motherfucker is going to do it twice. So I am in a fortunate situation where I can speak my mind without any kind of worries about retribution. How do you feel about Kamala winning? Rita, she's going to fucking win. She's going to win decisively. No question. Oliver's mom says he's already crying about the election fraud in PA over fraudulent voter registration applicants. Let that fucker cry. He's like the boy who cried wolf. It didn't work in 2020. It's sure as hell not going to work in 2024. Let him whine and cry. But once he loses on November 5th, his power, his support is going to drop off decidedly. He's going to become the joke that he truly is. Let's see. No escape. You MAGA, you better vote blue. We need the Senate too. And a lot of people say, well, I'm not so sure about the Senate. But here's the thing about the Senate. They're saying that based on historical data. We've never seen anything like this in history. So expect the unexpected. I think we'll be able to hold on to the Senate, at least by a thin margin, if not more. They are unhinged, deranged, but more importantly, they don't give a fuck about their children's future. No, they're very short sighted. It's all about what's in it for me. What can I get now? I don't want a lot of money. I want all the fucking money. That's how they think. Eventually, those people die on the vine because they chew up everything. They aren't going to win. Jay Pretty Jay says, you calm my anxiety and cheer me up at the same time. Love your post. Harris Walls. Thank you, Jay Pretty Jay. I'm glad I can do some service for some folks out there. Um, Electoral numbers prediction. I don't know. I mean, I hope that Kamala wins by 100 electoral votes. That would be good. I will tell you this. I don't make predictions because I'm not smart enough to make predictions, but here's the deal. Joe Biden won't beat Donald Trump by 7 or 8 million votes. I would be willing to bet that she's going to double that. 15, 16 million votes. That's what she's going to beat him by. It keeps getting worse every time. Hillary beat him by 3 million votes. Biden beat him by 7 or 8 million votes, and Kamala's going to beat him by 15, 16 million votes, maybe more than that. I mean, I think that we could be looking at a landslide. I'm not going to say that because that's a lot to predict. But if there was ever going to be a landslide, it would be this time around. Consider this. Kamala Harris is probably running one of the best political campaigns in history. Donald Trump is running one of the worst campaigns in history. When it comes to fundraising, the true illustration as to who supports who, Kamala raised $1 billion in 80 days. Donald Trump raised 300 million in 80 days. What's that tell you? Who's got the more support? And it's not even fucking close. I love the great job you're doing. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that. Like you said, it's going to be the women who save the world. Yes, that is, this has been a war against women. mounted by Donald Trump and the Republicans. If you can't see that, you're fucking blind. And I've been married 41 years. You don't fuck with women. They don't forget, and they can be ruthless. My wife and I have gotten through a lot of things over those 41 years. We've come to terms. We just get along great and we go do stuff together. But I'm going to tell you what, if you're going to go after somebody, go after a white guy because they're usually pussy ass bitches. You go after women, they're going to come for you and they're going to come for you big. Remember in 2020, who pulled that out? Black women. Now it's going to be all women. It's going to get ugly for Donald Trump. Bell says Lucas Kuntz is picking up speed against Holly. I hope he wins. Yeah, Holly likes to think he's masculine as he was running like a girl through the Capitol when his people were chasing him down. Josh Hawley is such a joke. I'm so tired of that son of a bitch, and I hope he goes quickly. All right, moving on. MAGAs want IDs to vote. I want IQ tests. Let's compromise and have both. That sounds good to me. I mean, I think you do have to have an ID when you register. So when you walk up and say, I'm registered, and they have all your information in front of you, what's the point of doing the ID? But I have no problem with giving an ID. Do you like Walz? Yeah, I love Walz. He's our governor. He's done a hell of a job. He's done an amazing job, a job similar to what Biden did with the country. He's a smart guy. He's no nonsense. He's kind of the wingman for Kamala Harris. He can say a lot of things that she can't. Yeah. What's in it for you, LOL? Money, LOL. Now, you know what's in it for me? I get to block dumb fucks like you. That's what it's in for me. I just like irritating Trump-fucks. It's a great joy to me. I really enjoy it. All right. Trump supporters are so desperate, they're quoting online gambling app polls. I hear that people say, yeah, but the gambling odds are with Donald Trump. Well, of course they are. People who bet, if they're all betting for Donald Trump, the odds are going to go with him. Who's voting for Donald Trump to win? Dumb Trump-fucks. They've been grifted for fucking 9 years. These bookies are saying, fuck, we'll take your money. We'll take your goddamn money. It'll be fucking great. And so don't think about the poll. The polls are not worth shit, and the betting odds are ridiculous. Okay. You block people because you can't have an intelligent civil debate like the rest of the Dems. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. I block people like you because you're dumb fucks and you can't be talked to. I've had Trump-fucks on my podcast. It's disconcerting because they're so stupid. I feel like I've just kicked a puppy. I can't beat up Trump-fucks anymore. And I'm not going to have a conversation with a Trump-fuck in a live. I'm just not going to. However, if you are a Trump-fuck and think you're smart, all you have to do is send me an email at rationalboomer@gmail.com. If you have a question, I'll answer it. But if you're a Trump-fuck, say, Mike, I want to be on the show and we'll have a debate. I'd be happy to do it. I'll let you talk as long as you want. But I guarantee you, when you're done, you're not going to go away happy with your performance because you're not bright enough to hang with any libtard, especially me. I talk for a living. I've always talked for a living. And so I know what I'm talking about because I study this shit every day. You guys just make shit up or listen to what Fox News tells you, and you're always wrong. You want to debate? You want an argument? Do it on my Rational Boomer podcast, because then you can't go running to TikTok saying, oh, he was mean to me. Fuck you. All right. Why hasn't Kamala done anything she is promising to do during her presidency? Well, she's not the fucking president, and you're blocked because I know who you are and what you're up to. Fuck you. Let's see here. Mr. Trump is unfit for our nation's highest office, J.D. Vance. Donald Trump is unfit to have a driver's license. Donald Trump is unfit to change his own diaper. He hasn't been fit to do that for years. Are we making your day a bad day? You know what? I fucking have great days every fucking day. My best day is today, and I have high hopes for tomorrow. And I have even higher hopes for November 5th. Tucker says, you can't tell MAGA none about Donald. He do no wrong in their eyes. Well, that's true. Yes, ignorance is bliss. It's crazy. There are no facts being shared by them, just nonsense. You're absolutely motherfucking right. What did Mike Pence do? I love how they say, Mike Pence did the right thing. He certified the election. No, Mike Pence did the only thing he could do according to the Constitution. It's a ceremonial event. He had to certify the election. And if he didn't certify the election, that motherfucker would have got indicted too. So don't tell me he's brave or did the right thing. He did the only thing he can do. Let's see. C. Will says Trump 2024. Yeah, you're fucking gone. I can tell a Trumper just by the look in their eye. It's kind of vacant and not very bright. So Lee's gone too. What do you think will happen to Musk? I hope there's an investigation into Musk, and he does pay some penance there. Silencer man, do these cuss words even know what the VP's job is? No, they don't. You know, I was going to get mad there because I thought somebody was going to complain that I swear. Some people do that, and I'm just me, man. I swear, and if you don't like it, don't watch. Let's see here. Oh my God, fuck. It keeps going. It keeps running on me here. I'm sorry. I wanted to read this one. Oh my God, I had breakfast with three Trumpers, and just said I live in California all my life, and I was very. Why would you even sit with Trump humpers? I can't even engage with them because they're not smart enough to talk to us. You think they will do an insurrection again? Hell no. They're cowards. They ain't going to do shit when Joe Biden's president. They're going to be terrified. They're going to be too busy climbing under and slithering under their rocks. I'm appalled. Thanks for your content. You've got me through the last year. Appreciate you. I appreciate you too. Pence asked Al Gore for advice before he did the right thing. He also asked the other guy, God, I can't remember his name, the other dumb shit Republican vice president. Elon Musk is a genius. Elon is voting for Trump. Vote like a smart guy. Oh, yeah. Elon's a brilliant motherfucker. He goes and buys Twitter for $44 billion, and now it's worth $10 billion. Tesla's stock is dropping through the fucking floor. He is so smart. I question whether Elon Musk is smart, or at least he's diminished somehow because he makes some horrible choices. Sidling up to Donald Trump is going to cost him in the long run. Do you think we will have to build him a presidential private jail? I don't think we have to, but I'd be willing to put in a few bucks to do that. Hey, you're crying already. I can tell. Fuck you. You're gone. These motherfuckers, they think they can come to me and say, you're scared. You're worried. No, I'm not. Not scared at all. I know you're getting your ass kicked, and I'm looking forward to it. I sleep like a baby all night, dreaming about watching Trumplafucks crying in their fucking beers. You can try to tell me what you think I think or what I really am thinking, but you don't know because you're not smart enough. You're not bright people. And I don't say that to be mean. That's just an observation. You don't appear to be very bright. I've had Trumplafucks on my podcast, and I think, great, this is going to be a good debate. This is going to be fun and hard fought, and it never is. They're just dumb as shit. They got nothing except their bluster, and bluster's bullshit. You need facts now and again. That's why I call them Trumpanese, Trumpanzees. Yeah, that's a good one. Fed already knows Musk is on the list with the rest of Wave Two. I agree with you. I think that's probably true. Um, I have waited for a long time for Harris to win and will be celebrating with adult beverages. I don't drink alcohol. I quit 35 years ago, but I might start again. At least some champagne. CCB or CB boss, I love your videos. Thank you. Trump for jail. Hell yeah. I'm in the right room. Yes, you are in the right room. What about Robert Kennedy Jr. on being in charge of health? Well, that would be a concern if Donald Trump had a prayer in hell of winning, but it doesn't. Robert F. Kennedy is a goofball. By saying that he'd be in charge of the health care, probably cost Donald Trump even more votes. Every time he opens his mouth, he loses his votes. Peter Thiel wants Vance in, plan to push Trump out. What have you read? I've heard that story, and I don't think it's necessarily crazy that that Peter Thiel, who has a lot of money, Elon Musk that has a lot of money, wants to get JD Vance as VP, force Donald Trump out, and then they got their boy running the country. At first, I thought it sounded crazy, but now as I see all the things going on, I wouldn't be surprised. Arsham, I hope the next Dem administration does not wait 2 years to take legal action against them. You're absolutely right, and I don't think they will. First thing they got to do is fire Merrick Garland. He might be a great jurist, but he is not the right man for the attorney general's job. We need to get somebody tough, somebody who's ready to hold people accountable and get down to business on January 21st, assuming they're appointed by then. But Merrick Garland's got to fucking go. Uh, Slenny says Von shits in pants will either spend the rest of his life in court, prison, or in a different country. I don't see him going to a different country. I don't know how he'd be able to pull that off. He's known wherever he would go. He's surrounded by the Secret Service, which is an arm of law enforcement. If the Secret Service allowed him to leave the country, they'd be in some deep shit too. So they better plan on going with him. Um, Will there be political violence when Trump loses? You might see some minor skirmishes here and there, one or two people, but you're not going to see what you saw on January 6, 2021. Keeping the Senate is going to be crucial to getting appointments done. Absolutely. We still have to hold our breath till December 17th. Don't forget, December 17th. I don't think so. I think it's going to be clear enough who won the election on November 5th. There's going to be hard to argue that. Do you think we will know Kamala as our president on the 5th? I don't know about the 5th, but maybe the 6th. If she wins in a big way, it's going to be assumed that she won. I think we'll know. What about Doug Jones as AG? Yeah, that's a possibility. I don't know how tough a guy is, but I think he's enough of a Trump fuck hater that he'd be good. Do you think there'll be another January 6th if he loses? I do. Well, there'll be another January 6th in terms of the date. There won't be attack on the Capitol. And even if they tried, Joe Biden will be ready for it. With being a felon, Donald Trump can't even go to most countries. That's true. I hope President Harris hires Jack Smith. That would be a total win. Yeah, if Jack Smith wanted to be the AG, he'd be as tough as anybody to put in there. I would love to see Biden before he leaves use the new law and put in SCJ and Trump all in jail. That would be nice. He doesn't deserve Secret Service at all. No, he doesn't. Remove Mike Johnson. Remove Mike Johnson. Louisiana need to flip 4 House seats, gain the seat. I would love to see Mike Johnson put out of there. He's a cancer in the Congress. Thoughts on Liz Cheney's comment? Donald Trump says that she's a war hawk and that she should be put in front of the barrels of 9 guns pointed at her face. That's desperation on Donald Trump's point. He doesn't know what the hell else to do. He's spinning like a fucking top. I think it's reprehensible, and hopefully there's Stevie Jones says, "What's a war hawk?" A war hawk is a politician who is just all about not so much about negotiations or diplomacy. Just go bomb the piss out of them. And she might be a war hawk. She might be more apt to go into war. And that's what I've said about Liz Cheney. A lot of people have a lot of respect for her. And I appreciate the fact that she has some integrity. She stood up to Donald Trump, that she stood for the country and democracy. But isn't that the bare minimum we should expect out of members of the House of Representatives? Keep in mind, keep in mind that she is highly conservative. She's against abortion. You might like that she has integrity, but shouldn't she have that anyway? She's not somebody a Democrat would ever want to vote for. She's not going to bring you what you need. Um, Zanelia says, do you think they will correct the Supreme Court? I think they have to correct the Supreme Court. There's a number of ways they could do it, but there's some steps they have to take before they do it. They got to deal with the filibuster. Um, the first thing I would do is I would send the DOJ, I would send the DOJ to see Clarence Thomas and Judge Alito and say, listen, here's the deal. You guys are going to get fucking indictments, but we could probably help you out here a little bit if you just retired. Correct Supreme Court to then get rid of Citizens United. Yeah, I agree. Likelihood of Mike Johnson pulling something screwy. He can't do any. What can he do? There's nothing he can do. Donald Trump and Mike Johnson can say anything they want. Mike Johnson doesn't certify the election. The vice president does. And that happens to be Kamala fucking Harris. So no, Mike Johnson isn't going to do shit. Donald Trump isn't going to do shit. Think of all the times that Donald Trump has said, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. What's the one constant? He fucking fails every time. He just talks out of his ass. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And Mike Johnson nods his head like a little puppet because he's a little bitch. All right. Our children walk our streets, close the borders, vote Trump, Florida. Yeah. Learn how to write fucking English, dipshit. He's blocked. As a veteran Latino and Puerto Rican, I don't see Trump winning. I agree with you. Get rid of the three Supreme Court thieves and traitors. I'm with you there too. Do you think she'll win? Did you just get here, King? Yeah, she's going to win, and she's going to win big. I think Harris gets 300 plus electoral votes. Am I crazy? I don't think you're crazy. I think that's distinctly possible. And that would be awesome. I think a big win for Kamala is important to this country and important for the argument these fucks will have about a fixed election. Okay, now I lost all the messages. This happens sometimes with the lives. The messages just disappear. So now I'm kind of left here to talk for myself, but that's okay because I can talk my ass off for as long as I fucking need to until they come back. Donald Trump is getting very nervous right now. You can tell by the way he talks, the crazy shit he's saying. And I'm going to tell you this, it's probably going to get crazier before it gets better. And then after the election, it's going to get crazy. But nobody's going to care anymore. All this anxiety about who's going to win will be gone. All the protection that Donald Trump has been afforded will be gone. He will be at his most vulnerable state. He wanted to delay all these trials till after the election because somehow in his sick, delusional mind, he fucking thought that he was going to win. And now he's starting to realize, I'm not going to win. There's too many women out there. And so he's going to do some crazy shit between now and then. It's just not working for him. He makes poor choices all the time. Patty says, what percentage of a chance could the Senate and House be controlled by Republicans? Probably zero in the House and maybe 20% in the Senate. I think it's that strong for the Democrats. But I'm just spitballing here. I'm not a fucking genius here. I'm just going by what I see. I don't make predictions because I'm not stupid. Where have you been living for 4 years? Um, Apparently inside your motherfucking head. That's where I've been living. Love you, Boomer. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Quit drinking. I don't drink. Haven't drank for 35 years. You're blocked, so you got plenty of time to down some cheap beer or wine. I got a feeling Trumplefucks are drinking cheap wine more than anything. Will we know who won Tuesday night? I think we'll have I don't know if it'll be official, but I think we'll have a pretty good idea who won. And not naming any names, but it'll be fucking Kamala. Um, let's see here. Biden called Trump. Okay, I got to get this one here. These things go by so fast, and then they fucking disappear again. Somebody was going to say Biden called Trump garbage. Yeah, he did. And he's accurate. I mean, you think about it. Donald Trump and his Trump-a-fucks, they tried to overturn an election, undermine democracy, overthrow the country. They took away constitutional rights away from 50% of this country, that being women. They caged children down at the border. They are fucking garbage. This is what I always hated. People will get me on this. They'll say, you can't say that. Yeah, but it's true. You can't be mad about me or Donald Trump, or well, Donald Trump doesn't ever say anything that's true. Me or Joe Biden or anybody else saying something that might be a little strong, but it's true. How can you whine about that? How dare you say the obvious and what's true about me? Well, fuck you. I have no constraints. I don't have a job. I don't have a position where somebody says, if you don't stop doing that, I'll stop buying your shit. No, I'll say whatever I want. I've been doing it since the beginning. I'll do it up until the election. And after the election, I'm going to continue doing it. And if I have to talk shit about Democrats because they're not doing the job after the election, that's what I'll be doing. I'm not worried about making friends or gaining followers. The thing is, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and the followers will come or they will go. It doesn't matter. This is a giant scientific test in that an old white guy can sit in his living room, say the things he says, and do people resonate with it? Unfortunately, up to this point, they have. A lot of people don't like me, but I'm one of those folks that don't give a fuck about people who don't like me. I don't care what people think. I'm appreciative when they do like me or support me, and I'm appreciative to no end. But if you don't like me, it doesn't hurt my feelings. A lot of people don't like me. Hey, Boomer, you're ready to do this? We are going to win. Absolutely. I can't wait till the Republicans turn on him. And yeah, you're absolutely right. That's going to fucking happen. They are going to turn on his ass because he's of no value to them anymore. Jessica Rabbit says, just voted blue in my deep red religious state of Utah. Beautiful state, a little red, but thank you for voting blue. Cheeselick says, you're right. You're not a genius. Well, you're right. I am not a genius, but at least I can stay here in this room and not get your ass blocked. So you're fucking gone, you stupid fuck. 70% Americans think this country is heading in the wrong direction under the president's House plan. That's bullshit. That's ridiculous. And you're gone too, because I just don't fucking like you. Trumpers have KDS. Yeah, they do. Are you on it today, Boomer? Love it. I don't know. I'm just, as we're getting closer to this election, I'm getting annoyed. I'm getting annoyed by media who can't see the obvious. I'm getting tired of getting people constantly DMing me. Now, I appreciate people reaching out to me, but every day somebody says, "Oh, this happened. Are you still confident?" Yeah, I'm still fucking confident. Kamala's going to win. There's no way Donald Trump can pull this out. He's got too much going against him. Anytime the Republicans tell you something, you can almost guarantee that it's going to be a lie. Oh, we got a special secret. Fuck you. You don't have a secret. You can't even stand in front of a crowd without shitting your pants. I'm supposed to think that you've got some master plan? I've never seen a master plan out of you motherfuckers. It's I'm getting a little loopy about this. We've been putting in this fight for really 4 years. but really hot and heavy for 2 years. And it gets tiring listening to the Republicans cover themselves with the election and he's a candidate and all this stuff. I'm going to be so glad when it's over. All the Trumplafucks, they'll get very quiet. They'll get very quiet out here. I'll be able to do um, TikTok lives without too much trouble because they won't dare come out and say anything. These people hate more than anything to be made look like fools. We all know they're fools. And now it will be verified on November 5th. And watch them get real quiet. Watch them get real quiet and disappear. I challenge any Trumplafucks to come on here. I'm going to do a live on November 5th during the election after the polls close. I'm going to do a live here, and I want Trumplafucks to come and tell me, explain what's going on here, because you're going to get your ass kicked. That's just the fact. It's going to happen. What day is it today? Friday. I want to remind you to listen to the Rational Boomer podcast. This live is going to be made into a Rational Boomer podcast, and it's going to be an extra podcast. You'll get the regular podcast that we do. I did one today that was mostly emails. I've got one coming tomorrow with Jace, who's from Texas. We'll get some insights about what's happening in Texas. This will go on somewhere in between, and you'll be able to hear the live. But I'm going to do a live on November 5th on election night. It's going to be interesting. Either I'm going to be proven right or I'm going to be proven wrong. And either way, it does matter to me. I know I'm going to be right. But if I'm wrong, I'm going to say, fuck, I'm wrong. Now what? See, that's the thing. You make decisions. You got to be decisive and say, I believe this. And if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, don't be ashamed of that. Don't hide. Say, okay, it didn't work out. Fucked up, got the wrong thing. Now what are we going to do? Because the fight never ends. The fight is going to continue after the election. That's not the end point. November 6th won't be nirvana. We've got to still fight these fucks, and we still got to dig ourselves out of the hole that the Trumplafucks put us in. So this is far from over. This next milestone of November 5th will be the first step toward righting this ship and straightening out what we've got going on here and marginalizing the Trumplafucks. They know it's coming. They know they aren't going to be able to continue to flap their lips because they're going to have nobody to support. Nobody's going to be there to support. Donald Trump is going to go by the wayside. The Republican Party will finally realize he's of no value to us. He can't get us money anymore. He can't get us votes. This is the fourth consecutive election where he's cost us the elections. So Donald Trump is done. And then he's going to be sentenced 3 weeks from the election. 3 weeks from November 5th, he is going to be sentenced for the 34 felony charges in the Manhattan district. Now, what's going to happen there? I don't know. People will say, well, that kind of conviction isn't exactly calling for jail sentences. But here's the deal. He did it 34 fucking times. He also called out and talked shit about the judge, broke the gag order 15 times. He could very well go to jail in that sentencing 3 weeks from the election. I hope he does. But if he doesn't go to jail, then the other trials that he has to deal with, that would almost be certain jail time when he's convicted. And make no mistake, motherfucker's going to get convicted. He just is. He's just going to get convicted, and there's no two ways about it. And the Trumplafucks will be crying and whining and slobbering on themselves, but it's going to be fun. We'll be able to take pot shots at the Trumplafuck, make fun of the Trumplafucks. I mean, I get them coming up to me nowadays. I don't even try to argue with them. I just laugh at them because they're jokes. They're so silly. They're stupid. And when it comes to people like us talking to Trumplafucks, they can't even speak on our level. They aren't the brightest folks in the world. They just say whatever comes to their head or whatever they heard on Fox News or whatever they heard on OAN or Newsmax or out of the mouth of dumb fuck Donald Trump. So they just keep spewing the same old shit, and it's all silly. And they're going to realize that this fight for 2 years was all for naught. It's funny, leading up to this point in time, the Republicans really think they're going to win this election easily. They think they're going to win down the line from the president on down. They fucking believe this. They even think Donald Trump might win in a landslide. Oh, this is what I love. I love seeing them lose, but I also love seeing them blindsided. They're going to be walking down the street thinking, oh, Donald Trump's going to win. And then boom, Kamala's going to kick his ass. And they won't know what to do with themselves other than claim it must be fixed because if we lose, it must be fixed. That's bullshit. Keep trying, motherfuckers. You have never been able to accomplish anything. Remember when Donald Trump lost in 2020? Oh, just you wait. Donald Trump will be back in the Oval Office in August. Oh, Trump will be back in the Oval Office by November. Guess what? In 4 years, Donald Trump has never, ever been in the Oval Office. There's never been a time when he was actually president, in spite of the fact that even the top ranking Republicans will not say that he lost in 2020. It's going to be interesting to see what they have to say after the 2024 election. These people are going to carry the stink of Donald Trump on them for eternity. They're going to try to run their lives and be politicians and go into business. But every time they turn around, somebody's going to say, weren't you a Trump fan? That dumb fuck, that pariah, that butt of the jokes, weren't you a supporter of his? They'll try to deny it, or they'll try to get people to forget about it. I'll guarantee you this. I'm not going to forget about it. If no one else will call them out, I will call them out every time a Trump LaFuck supporter comes out after trying to step away from Donald Trump. Those people still with Donald Trump, you waited too long. You stuck too close for too long. There's no escaping the stench of Donald Trump, literally and figuratively, because he shits his pants. And if you stand near him, you go, fuck, man, that's some nasty shit. Oh, man. I'm getting out of breath here. I'm getting a little riled up. Normally, I'd be just doing TikToks. I said, fuck it. I'm going to do a live TikTok and see what happens. Great captain figured out I had a live and he popped in and became a moderator. And I appreciate that. That Gen X girl says, you're on it today, Boomer. Love it. Thank you. I think Cheney should press charges. I don't know what the charges would be. Would that be assault, a terroristic threat? I don't know. Maybe we'll see you something. We will see something unforeseen like in Indiana or Oklahoma flipping blue. I agree. I think we're going to see people or states that you don't expect to turn blue to turn blue. I honestly believe that. Cheap beer or wine. You're so funny. Hey, when I was 14, 15 years old, growing up in South Minneapolis, cheap beer or cheap wine was a mainstay. Jim Smith says Trump is way ahead. Uh, yeah, go with that, you dumb fuck. Kamala has this, no question. I saw Charlie Kirk in a state of panic on a clip. There is a goofy looking fuck, Charlie Kirk. I've seen him in debates. He does horribly. He's just a goofball. I don't know what he hopes to gain, but when Donald Trump goes down, Charlie Kirk's career does too. Touched by Tash. Oh my God, why am I just finding your page? Exactly. Why the fuck are you just finding my page? I've been here for 4 years talking the same shit, doing TikToks every day. Thank you, TikTok, for your fucking algorithm. She should, Touched by Tash should have found this long ago. Well, I appreciate you finding it now. Let's see. By the way, just so you know, if you can't find me on TikTok, which is the case for some folks, these TikToks and my podcast also show up on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you can't find them here, you can find them in one of those other places. YouTube might be the easiest place to find them because you get the podcast and the TikToks. I'm a Kamala supporter and I'm drinking my weight in cheap wine. You go, girl. You drink that cheap wine. I remember when I was in ninth grade. Yeah, I was drinking in ninth grade. I was a rebel. I had cheap wine one time. And now, whenever I walk into a liquor store to buy alcohol for a party or something like that, I see this bottle of wine and I get physically ill. And that wine was Mad Dog. Mogan David 2020, MD 2020. That is the nastiest shit. Or maybe it's just because I drink a whole bottle and I was 14 years old, but I cannot even look at that stuff anymore. Michael says, love your page commentary, Harris Walls 2024. Wildman says, what's Trump's parole officer say about calling for Cheney firing squad? That's a good question. He's got a lot of restrictions as a man out on bail. But we don't seem to see anybody do anything. We'll see if that changes after he's no longer a candidate for president. Gonzo says, you say it like it is. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I agree with you. Trump is going to be crying like a little baby. Well, we don't agree completely because I'm saying he's going to be crying like a little bitch, but I understand you want to keep it clean. You're not old. Miranda, I'm 64 years old. I'm old comparatively. My granddaughter does it all the time. My granddaughter's 4 years old and she always seems like she needs to take care of me. My wife has a video. We were watching her, my wife and she were doing something, and I fell asleep on the couch because I had been sick and I'd been up all night. My wife has a video of me laying upright in the couch and she coming over with a blanket, putting over the blanket, kissing me on the cheek. And then I said, what are you doing, honey? She goes, well, you're very old, Grandpa. I got to take care of you. And she does this all the time. We're walking someplace and I walk slower than everybody else. And she says, what's Grandpa doing? He goes, you always walk slow. And then she comes back, holds out her hand and says, here, Grandpa, I'll help you. People think I'm fucking an invalid of some sort because I can't, I don't know what it is. It must be this face. That motherfucker's old. It's weird whenever I go to a store. This is really strange. I don't know if other people wouldn't notice it, but no matter what store I go to, Walgreens, a grocery store, Target, whatever, if it's not an automatic door, somebody, it could be an old man, it could be a young woman, it could be a child. They always say, here, let me get the door for you. I'm thinking, do I look like I need for you to get the door for me? I mean, I fucking appreciate it, but I'm not that old and decrepit. But apparently some people feel I am, and I'm just going to go with it and milk it for all I can get. Oh man, we made it over an hour. That's always my goal, to make it over an hour. And I try and I'll maybe go an hour, hour and a half. And I may go a little bit longer here, but I got to do a podcast later tonight. I got to do some more TikToks. Fortunately, I have the ability to talk a lot. It's not always quality, but I've got quantity down fucking cold. But I'm just wired up because of what's going on with the election and all this shit bouncing around. I'm getting tired of hearing the same old shit. I just want to get to November 5th, get this shit done, get this motherfucker taken care of, and get on to real business, the business of the people of this country. For 2 years, the House of Representatives hasn't done jack shit because the Republicans are obstructionist. People will come to me, why won't you talk policy with Republicans? Motherfucker, Republicans don't have policy. They have no points of view. They don't have no platform. They want to talk about cultural issues or whatever. They have no policy. So you can't argue policy with them. It's fucking crazy, to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm growing tired of it. People ask me, what are you going to talk about after the election and Donald Trump loses? Now, there'll be all kinds of things to talk about. There's going to be a mess after the election. Donald Trump's got 3 trials. He's going to get sentenced. There's going to be superseding indictments against sitting members of Congress. Oh, there's going to be plenty to talk about. People think that I'm going to go away after November 5th. No such luck. I'm sticking around. I'm going to keep gloating and talking shit about the Republicans. And if the Democrats don't come through with what they're supposed to do once they get control, I'm going to be talking shit about them because I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I've always said it's not about Democrats versus Republicans. It's those motherfuckers against us. It's time we get some attention. It's time we get some help. People always say, well, we can't help the middle class. We can't afford that. Really? Because we pay most of the taxes. And here's my deal. I'm a capitalist at heart. If I'm paying you money, as in taxes, I expect something in return. I don't expect you to come back and say, well, we can't afford it. fuck you. I gave you money. You better give me something in return instead of giving stuff to Trump-fuck wealthy guys that don't pay taxes. We pay the money. We deserve the spoils of those payments, and I expect we will get it. So, but we're getting down to the end of the live. I don't. I've lost the comments again. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. For a while, the TikTok comments just disappear, so I can't answer anything. It's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to wrap this up. If you didn't get a chance to hear the whole live, you can get it on Spotify and on YouTube. They'll play the whole live in its entirety. Check out the Rational Boomer podcast. I'm there every night. It goes up about just after midnight and runs throughout the day. If you want the audio version, go to Spotify. If you want the video version, go to YouTube. Just look up Rational Boomer. If you're missing the TikToks on TikTok because of the fucking algorithm, go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, and you'll get the TikToks. Oh, by the way, on Spotify too, somebody asked me to do this, and I have a compilation of all the TikToks for the day, and I put the audio versions of it up on Spotify too. So if you can't find me, something's wrong because I'm fucking everywhere, and it's not hard to get a hold of the TikToks or the podcast or anything like that. So anyway, I'm going to wrap things up for this live. I want to thank you very much for spending time with me. I'll be back again, certainly on election night, maybe before then. Be watching for me on TikTok and all the other platforms. But we're here for it. We're going to win with Kamala Harris on November 5th. I have no question in my mind. And fuck Trump-la-fucks. All right. We stopped the live. We have the podcast. And I got to do another podcast later tonight with Jace, so I'm not going to go on and on. We went over an hour. That's enough time. So let's wrap things up. I want to thank you for listening. This is an extra podcast. I hope you have a great day and be looking for the next podcast that comes out tomorrow with Jace. Have yourself a great day.